Hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Like Me. We have on one of the great loves of my life, Emily Cocea. You might know her as Hot Blockchain on various channels. She is the daughter of one of my best friends, and I watched her going from, getting kicked off TikTok by her mom because her mom was like, you can't post that, to making literal millions of dollars a year while being incredibly intentional and thoughtful. And like, this woman is going to blow your mind. Whatever you think you're about to hear, it's better. I'm Jordan Reid, and this is Like Me. Emily Cocea, welcome to Like Me.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I feel like we need to do a little disclosure about our relationship, that we do know each other. I'm best friends with Emily's mom, and I have known you since you were a little, very problematic TikToker young lady.
Oh my Lord, yeah.
Oh, you had to leave that platform so many times.
Oh yeah.
And then every time you went on, you had 1 million followers within 30 seconds. So the first question I have for you, well, how? And what was your entree into the online world? I assume it was personal before it was professional.
Like, yes and no. I would say, honestly, like the impetus for doing social media work was sadly like my dad passing away. And I wanted to have some kind of way that I could ensure that I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I knew that was a lot of school and a lot of money. And I wanted to know with certainty I would be able to afford that. Um, and I had had
At what age are we talking that you knew this?
Oh, this is like 15. I had had prior to my dad passing away, I had had one TikTok do 66,000 views, which now to me is like a bad TikTok. And so from 15 to 18, I had 4 different TikTok accounts that I was working on consistently. They were all a different theme, just anything to try and see what was going to get me the most amount of followers so that I could start monetizing basically the moment I turned 18.
How did you know? Are you psychic? How did you know
That it was gonna work
that
out?
you could do that?
I have no idea why I had that kind of confidence. That was, insane. There was nothing in the world that suggested that that was gonna go the way it was, but, I don't know, as a teenager, I just had this, sincere belief that, anything I wanted, if I, worked hard at it enough, it would happen. It was the same
God
with
bless teenagers. Yeah.
No, right? But, when I was applying to college, I really wanted to go to Carnegie Mellon, and my counselor wanted me to apply to a bunch of other schools, but I was like, Carnegie Mellon's gonna let me in. So I sabotaged every other application. That was ridiculous. Ugh. But
It literally is just the confidence of youth.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You know what, though? When I moved to LA to become an actress when I was 22, I literally was like, I mean, obviously I'll be making $1 million or 2 within a couple of years. How? Why? I don't know. I just was like, yeah, of course. You started on TikTok.
Mhm.
And then was that basically where you were for the first few years?
At the same time that I made the official hot blockchain account, which is when I was like, okay, this is the brand that I'm gonna work with, like, or it's the branding of myself I'm gonna work with. I was also streaming on Twitch, and it was really Twitch that helped me build a strong fan base for the first year I was kind of doing this. When I was in freshman year of undergrad, I had one of my mods paid for a super expensive $2,500 computer setup so that I could do it easier at school. And it was really that community that kept my confidence buoyed up.
What did you what do you do on Twitch?
Well, a lot of people there's a lot of cooler things than what I do. I still do this. In undergrad, what I would do is I would come back from lecture and I would steal my professor's lecture slides and just study and give the lecture to stream. And I'd just do all my homework on Twitch stream. And I still do
So
that in
people
law
just
school.
watch you doing your homework the way that they watch like gamers playing games?
Yeah. To be fair, some of the time I was stealing, the lectures from these, like, fantastic professors and, like, giving them for free, which I assume is not cool, but nobody ever.
I don't know actually. Is it not I actually don't know the legalities of that, but like that sounds I mean, I got to listen to like Cornell West talk and like Stephen Hawking and they're like why not bring that to everyone? But I'm sorry, the fact that you monetize that is in actually insanity. Um I don't even know what to say. I feel like you should probably be president. So what was it like being online? Like I said, you would get kicked off TikTok by your mom, and
Yeah,
then you would somehow start a new account.
yeah.
And then you would have these hundreds of thousands of followers seemingly overnight. What was the experience of being that public online and being perceived and commented on and watched at that scale at that age? And also going through um your personal family tragedy, was it an escape? I mean, not to, psychoanalyze, but did that feel like an escape from that? How did you handle that kind of pressure?
I always felt like it was like a project, like, I always treat it like a job, and I think there's a lot of tension in my relationship with my mom in high school because I was like, "How can you not see what
Mhm.
I know I'm gonna be successful, like, clearly this is working," and felt like that was a big frustration for me at the time, and it was the same with, like, my friends from high school sometimes would be like, "Oh, like, this is cringe or whatever," and I'd be like, "No, like, you don't really like, you're not understanding, like, all the money in this space, and that's fine, like, I don't need to explain it to you," but it was just kind of difficult, but then low key, like, the moment I got into undergrad, I never had every single person I met, like, immediately understood without question, like, why I was, like, posting the way I was posting. Like, I never felt like I had to, like, explain myself, and that felt a lot better. It just in high school was a lot of, like, this is a legitimate thing to me. It's frustrating that you can't see it, That was the main.
I mean, I get obviously like your mom's generation, like how would she possibly understand?
Yeah.
Did the kids in your high school understand? Did just everyone in your generation get that?
This was sort of when I was in high school, this was kind of before concepts of, like, OnlyFans went, like, major. This was before influencers were making publicly the amount that everyone now knows that they make. And so it was like a fun project with my friends. Like, it was, like, fun. They thought it was, like, fun for me, but I it wasn't like a silly thing to me. Like, I was taking it really seriously, like, from the get-go, you know? But it wasn't like a bad thing that they just thought it was silly. Like, I never, like, truly minded that. It was mainly the adults acting like what I was doing was, like, stupid or,
It's
like,
very
short-sighted.
I just don't know how you navigated that and while also navigating what I know from personal experience is a very scary world and how like when I got like crazy trolled, I was 30 to like 38 and it almost broke me. Like it was really I was like panic attacks and couldn't sleep and like it was awful. And to think about exposing myself online at your age sounds I are you just like is it you? Is it your generation? Are you just built of stronger stuff? Do you just like get it?
When you say, like, trolls, do you mean, like, the negative comments and stuff?
You know what? I think it might be a little different. So my trolling it wasn't like you stupid bit. It was more like really targeted. There was this ire that came at mothers, specifically like
Yeah.
young mothers online, and that had a different tenor. It was really like very personal. It wasn't just like weirdos just being like you're fat or whatever. I mean, they did that too, but I had a 90% female audience, so it was a different thing.
Yeah.
Is maybe that I mean,
I mean, honestly, like, I feel like luckily, I came to feminism real early on. I was like 12 when I was like reading some of like de Beauvoir's stuff, right? Like I didn't understand that. Even before I started, I was like, there is just a subset of like gross losers online who are like super miserable. And this is like their one way to get attention. And you just like feel bad for them. Even when I see these like super disgusting detailed DMs that are like, I'm gonna come to your dorm and you Mitch and like da da da. I'm like, oh, like that's like low key, like that's so sad. Like it doesn't like
It is. It is. It's just remarkable because it took me like, 10 years of therapy to get there, truly. And so it is remarkable that you were able to see that. It's virtually always true, but to be such a young woman that with that kind of unfiltered access that people have to you, if I mean, if my daughter was doing that, I would be petrified, and yet you navigated it with intention and grace, and I just like it's
well,
incredible.
I appreciate it. But honestly, like to be completely honest, I think the reason that it like was really easy to like not be effective is because like the thing that the majority of men online want to throw at you is like you're an idiot or like you're a vessel only for sex. But the whole time I've been doing this, I've been in school getting great grades, like being told like I'm the shit. Like, yeah, no, it's not gonna these aren't like meaningful insults to me, you know. I will say I just had my first real stalker though, and that was a little bit scary. He's been a stalker for a while, but he just recently came to the law school to try and um,
Oh my
link up with
god.
me. This is the first dude who's, like, shown up, and he's crazy, like, he's been crazy for a long time. He, like, used to send me he was writing, like, a book about me, it was super weird, and then my, like, mods found, this video that he had posted of him, like, walking into the law school, like and then so I contacted the law school, and I was like, "Yo, like, this needs to not be happening." And they
And they took
fixed
it
it.
seriously?
Yeah.
So speaking of that openness with I mean, you're open about money, you're open about sexuality, you're open about, being a law school student. Are there It is so exciting to see, like, especially with money and stuff. I love talking about money with other women because we just don't, and like we need to in order to help each other figure out how to make it in a world where it's very hard to be a self-employed woman. Are there boundaries that like do you have boundaries, things that you just won't talk about? And also how did you develop that comfort with sharing? Was it natural or just was it intentional?
Um, I don't know if there's things that I wouldn't talk about. I have, like, a whole separate, like, political account, so I guess I go there too. And I feel like, to me, it's always been evident that, like, what even though, like, you could dumb it down and be like, she just sells bikini pictures." That's, like, not what you actually are selling, right? You're selling, "Look at me. Aren't I the kind of person who you would love to have as a girlfriend?" And
Mm.
for this low, low price of whatever I've currently set it at, you can talk with me and experience what it would be like to be my boyfriend. And you don't get people to want that unless you're speaking to them comfortably prior to them buying into it, right?
Just to back it up a little bit, what is the for people who don't know, what is the content that you're using to build your brand and business?
Yeah, so I have my main accounts on TikTok and Instagram, which are both hot blockchain. And those are like, that's me being like sexy and dancing and being like, I'm a law student and like this is da da da. And then
I'm
I
a
have
law student, but I'm a sexy law student.
exactly. And then I have a spam account where I just like anytime I have like a thought, I'll just like post myself talking. And then I have Twitch where I do like the just straight up, like, I'll come back from class and be like, "Okay, we're gonna go through, like, this reading and do the assignment," and then, like, log off later at night.
And that's
And,
all live and people just come and join, and how is that monetized on Twitch?
s Twitch has subscribers, so you can gift or you can buy a sub to a channel. It just means that you can see the content without ads. Because if you're not subscribed, they'll periodically play ads throughout your stream. Honestly, Twitch is, like to me, it's play money because the more the value that I actually get from Twitch is that I do study like, it is such a good study tool to, like, explain a complicated aspect to someone. Obviously, it's the best way to learn. So it's like this, you know?
You're using it to further your education. I cannot.
It's a
Oh
real
my god.
symbiotic setup I got.
So where are you monetizing? So that's play money through subscriptions on Twitch. And are you on OnlyFans?
No, I'm on fanfics, and have an account still on Playboy. I used to predominantly, um like, I initially signed exclusively with Playboy, and then I, interned for them. That's why I agreed to model for them. I was like, "I'll do it if I can get an internship." Um,
I love Playboy. I think that the way that they have pivoted their brand, and especially with what they did with you with the college, you were like the rep on your campus or something. Am I getting that right?
yeah, I when I worked for them for a little under a year, and I managed a team of girls doing recruitment, and then I also, worked on, like, fixing up the UI, because it was a little bit funky. But I just felt as though I knew that I was, like, their most profitable girl on the site, and I just felt as though they weren't, like, really giving me as many benefits as I knew their competitors would. So I like switched over to fanfics at the beginning of the semester. So at the start of August, which has been great. And I don't sell nudes, but I do sell super sexy videos of me in a bikini and other
Sure.
little fits. But that's also why I'm not on OnlyFans, because OF like has a really heavy connotation for nudes, obviously.
Do you
And
sort of have to do nudes if you're on OnlyFans if you want to
no,
make money,
but
or
the
is it more like perception?
part of the reason that OF is always going to make you more money than fanfics or Playboy or passes is because customers go in there expecting nudes. And so, like,
Right.
that I just felt like for my because I evidently want to be a lawyer, I just felt like it would be unwise to, like, pick the platform where that's kind of the expectation of what you're selling, you know?
It seems like you really went into this career future focused it's like from day one because yeah, like if you had all these nudes out on there online, it might create problems with various law firms, but you also seem to have also understood the way in which the industry would shift to understanding why that's a valid economic model and not like a moral failing that they can't hire you for. And
Yeah.
you seem to have been very prescient about that from the start
Yeah.
while also protecting yourself. Ugh, I love you so much. What percentage of your audience would you say is male versus female?
Oh, it's like 90% is men.
See, I'm a 90% women. So that sounds so
Oh.
yeah. That sounds so terrifying to me. And when I go on your Instagram and I'll see like friends' husbands follow you, I wanna fucking kill them. Oh, girl, all the time. When I first started noticing that, I would email them and be like, "Just so you know, she's a genius. She's a genius, and she would
Oh,
never talk
no.
to you in real life." Yeah, sorry. I got a little protective there. Like, how are you navigating this world that's just like men, 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 men. All I want is to get away from men.
Oh, like, absolutely, but
Well, I'm
that's
sure you want that too.
well, yeah, that's in my personal life, like, I have, like, 3 male friends, 2 of which are gay and one of which is, like, 28 with a girlfriend who he's probably gonna propose to anytime,
Oh,
and so, like, I don't have the, highest regard for men in my personal life, but, like, they even back when I was, like, 15, right? They were gross and, like, gooning to my stuff, so that was gonna happen regardless.
what has doing this taught you about humanity, Emily?
When I was an undergrad, I had this professor, Lowenstein, who I really loved. He's working on a book right now called Design for Misery. And a lot of my undergrad focused on like how people make decisions and like when emotions factor into it. And so at the same time that I was seeing all this evidence that people are like incredibly deeply lonely, I was learning about like just how lonely one can get. And I guess, like, it just every day reinforces, like, humans are really absurdly social creatures, and I think, like, the way that we've set up modern day society really isolates people. I don't think, like, obviously, we all know that. It, like, really isolates people, and I don't think that what I do for work is a net bad. I think it's a net necessary so long as we maintain such, like, an isolated setup here.
It feels like you're doing almost like a mitzvah for these people and helping them connect in ways that are healthier than being so isolated that they lose their minds.
I mean, like, it's not you know what, like, when people, like, message me, it's not it's like, there's a lot of messages that are like, "You're so hot, you're so sexy," which I love, duh, I am hot and sexy.
Obviously.
But there's a large swath of messages that are just like, "Hey, like, I had kind of a bad day. Like, can we talk about it?" Like, it's just people who, like, want an outlet to talk to someone, and I'm really happy to provide that, you know? I like talking to people.
Have you felt any impact from AI on what you're doing? Because, like, I guess technically they could find a bot to give them that
Oh,
feedback.
that all exists. There's a million different AI sex chatbots that exist. They'll make pictures,
Mhm.
whatever you want, and it's a lot cheaper than talking to me. Um, but ultimately, I think it's still the same barrier that you experience with ChatGPT, right? Where it's like it's
It's
not
not a
it's
person,
not a
yeah.
person, and that's not why if all you wanted to do was look up boobs, porn is free. Clearly, there's some other reason that people subscribe to individual creators than simply to get off or, like, just to talk to a brick wall, right?
Sure. How
So,
does the subscription model on you said fanfic, is it hourly or is it like a gifting economy?
you subscribe by the month and, uh oh god, I'm trying to remember my tiers. They're super cute. They're named, like, Teacher's Pet, Teacher's Assistant. Uh
Oh,
Like, but if you aren't subscribed, you can send messages, but it costs you. If you are subscribed, you get, like, unlimited free messaging and, like, free little videos of me from time to time, and then you can purchase, like, bigger sets if that's what you're into.
gosh, this is fascinating. When you look back at, like, early influencer culture, just because that's sort of the perspective that I'm coming from with this project, do you feel a sense of, like, these were my, like, forebears, or is it just so night and day different from what you're doing? Obviously, the bones of the structure were built on, again, getting the money into the hands of women who were just, like, supporting themselves.
I think, obviously, they are. Like, there's a big chasm between the 2 kind of modes. I do think that in a way, what being a female influencer the way I am, like, is linked to that is sort of like earlier influencers were about kind of presenting the audience with these like really beautiful, perfectly posed displays a lot of the time in like every sense of the word, right?
Yes.
And there was sort of, I think, blowback from that of like, oh, like that's fake, or like we want things that are authentic.
Yes.
And I think out of that came the casual nature that influencers often take on now, where it's really normal to see your favorite influencer post a video like lying in their bed and stuff. And I think that's a reaction to, like, the beginnings of influencing.
It began with, like, blogging was an outlet blogging, which that isn't even a thing, I don't think, anymore, but that was an outlet for people to women mostly, to be unfiltered and messy and all of that stuff, but then the second marketing came into the picture. You had to be marketable, you had to, like, create value, you had to have those perfect pictures. I personally always really chafed against that because
Mhm.
I just don't wanna do that, but, and then it, of course, as it goes, like, up and down with, like, authenticity. You seem to have an interesting relationship with the concept of authenticity because you know what you're doing. These people aren't your boyfriends, but there's an extent of acting, I imagine, right? But then
Mhm.
you're also so purely yourself. So where do you, like, land on that spectrum?
Well, I like to flirt, so I think of it as just flirting, like, you don't all like, when you're, trying to get the free drink at the bar, like, both of you kind of know I'm not going home with you. but it's fun to
Right.
act like it.
So what platforms are you using today? You said fanfic, Twitch.
Mhm. I'm still on Playboy, but that's like I would prefer if people could subscribe to fanfics.
I guess I should subscribe. I feel
No,
like, should I?
that's
No, no. Okay.
okay.
Okay. I don't know. I want to support you.
No, it's okay. Like, it's
Okay.
okay. And then obviously Insta, and I have, like, a Twitter account, but, like, Twitter's a cesspool for, like,
No.
all weeks.
So there's so many things that you have to do to be successful. You have, you know, physical, emotional, being smart, doing the like technical labor. What part of what you do you think people underestimate the most?
If I'm being honest, I think pretty transparently, like, I don't know, I don't feel like people take it for granted. I feel like the followers that, like, I consistently recognize, anytime I post something that's, like, clickbaity or whatever, like, they're so with it, like, they immediately are like, "Oh, yeah, like, school's check is coming up," or whatever, or, like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
you know what, also, I don't really interact with, like, people who are negative to me online, so I'm like, "What do people take for granted?" I don't know, my friends think I'm pretty great. Like, so
What an answer. I love it. Oh, you talk also openly about money. We touched on this earlier, but that was something that I always people in the old days used to get very angry about the topic of money. Basically, the narrative online was for me personally, I'm being supported by men. Daddy bought her a house. She sits around, eats bonbons all day. Doesn't Meanwhile, like build what you know what I was doing.
Mhm.
And that I think of all of the criticisms that I personally received, that really just that made me so mad because I was like, I bought this fucking house. My ex-husband, I put him through school while buying
Mhm.
the house and
Mhm.
decorating the house and taking care of the kids. And so that kind of reaction, it really got under my skin. But you also couldn't really talk about money because it's taboo. But you
Mhm.
don't seem to feel that at all. I saw your most recent Instagram and I was like, girl, I love you. It's amazing.
I don't know. I'm in law school to be a public defender, the whole reason I feel comfortable taking a job that's gonna pay pretty shit is, like, because of this money, and I
Yep.
feel like it's also I think it's become the way that you legitimize what you're doing, right? Like, it's all fun and games to, like, be like, "Oh, well, she's a whore."
But when you're like, "No, no, receipts."
Right? Like, it's like an easy way to be like, "Look, I get it that you might think that this is, like, debasing myself, but you let me know when you make 7 figures," right? Like, so
Have you ever struggled with feeling like you're debasing yourself or, like, made missteps that you were like, "Oh, that didn't feel good. Let me walk that back?"
honestly, no. I, like, everything I wanted out of life which is to be a lawyer, eventually to go back and get a PhD and to own a nice house, has been accomplished through this job. Like, those are all givens now, which is pretty cool, and I don't think that I would choose to, like, trade not posting TikToks that are fun for, like, struggling with, like, student debt. That seems like a pretty absurd choice to gain, I don't know, some kinda extra sense that people, even though I still would have giant boobs, would take me more seriously. Come
Mhm,
on. The moment you walk
mhm.
in, they're already putting thoughts on you, so what does
That's
it matter?
right. When I grow up, I would like to be Emily Cocea. So, where is this headed?
Well, there's definitely, like, a bit of an oversaturation of the market occurring. This is true.
Oh, are you
Um,
saying I can't, start a fanfic account? Did
I
I
think
miss the boat?
you absolutely could. You absolutely could. I think it's just because, like, so much of the content that people see nowadays is coming from women who have some form of subscription account.
Mhm.
It is, I think, generating, like, more backlash because it's like every single influencer has some like subscription content or whatever. I mean, we're also entering like a cultural shift towards like purity culture again. But the
Yeah,
truth of the
yeah,
matter, but the thing is, it doesn't matter how conservative our culture has been ever. People have always wanted to fuck beautiful women.
yeah.
So I don't really see this like dissolving into scarcity, right?
No, I mean, I guess that's my concern with like the AI stuff, but like you said, it is inherently and fundamentally not the same. But porn and porn adjacent worlds have always been at the forefront of like every technological advance, right?
Yeah.
Because people are gonna do it.
Uh-huh.
That's just, isn't that like how the internet was created? I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'll send that to you. I always felt like, okay, I know I have, which I hate this for women generally, but I knew when you're building a career that's based so much on the physical presentation of self, you do have a time frame within which you have to figure out how to pivot somehow. And
Mhm.
I was always very conscious of that, and but also truly didn't know how to do it. And I see what you're doing is you're literally like, I'm making millions of dollars to fund being a public defender and change the world. Yeah, I was going to ask you what your next steps are, but like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Well, thank you.
When do you see, like, when, if, how do you see yourself not wanting to be public facing?
I think it depends. I really like number 1, I do think it's fun. Number 2, I'm working on like writing like a book, like a fun like fiction book.
A Romana Clef? Is it
Yeah.
semi based on you?
Yeah, it's gonna be some Mia.
I would
But
read it.
it would be really great if when I graduate law school, I can kind of continue as an influencer, but more like about like my creative writing stuff and like being a lawyer. And if I did quit, which honestly, like who's to say? I think it's fun. If I ever did quit, it would probably just because I'm like having children and done
Yeah.
and like just ready to like close this chapter. But for now, it's like fun and a good job, and like I don't, you know,
I completely agree. I mean, like, yeah, it's fun until all of a sudden it's not, and you're just like, ah,
yeah.
like go away. I don't know that you'll ever experience that. I'd like to ask you, what would be the advice that you would have given to your younger self, if any?
I mean, nothing.
Kind of,
So
right?
much. This was luck. I wouldn't want to fuck it up at all. Like, I wouldn't want to put any thoughts into my younger version's head because, like, every time that I had a moment of like doubt, it was like really important that I think I pushed through and like fortified that myself. Yeah, nothing. I feel like
I know I feel you. Like anything you do would create those butterfly effects, right? So and you're happy with where you butterflied out to.
oh, maybe one piece of advice. Do not decide freshman year that it would be really cool to be a chain smoker when you cannot smoke cigarettes and find them really annoying, because you'll just stink for
Oh
class.
no.
That's the piece of advice I would give.
Did you smoke freshman year and then you just
I
couldn't
would, like,
do it?
I would, like, get through, like, a fourth of the cigarette and be like, "Ooh." I don't
I
know,
mean,
that sounds
it is unfortunate that smoking like does look cool.
it looks super cool.
It looks super cool. I know I did it for a really long time and it's so disgusting. It makes you smell so bad.
So bad, you
So
reek,
bad.
and, like, I wasn't even smoking because I wanted to smoke, I was smoking because I thought it looked dope, which is, like, so lame, like, you lose infinite cool points, like, by doing that.
I know, but I'm just like my 90s movie brain is like, but it's cool, right? So please tell the people where they can find you these days.
Oh my god. You can find me on Hot Blockchain on anything, actually,
What does
so
that mean? I mean, I
uh
kind of understand what a blockchain is, but not really.
Oh, it's just like search engine optimization because the kind of guy I target is 18 to 24 years old and works in tech. So I'm hot.
You
He
chose
like, what?
that deliberately to optimize your You know what? I give up. Emily for president. I adore you. You are a treasure, and I think you are the hope of the future.
Oh, I love you, Jordan.
I love you so much.
Okay, bye, Slay.